careers.
Pride of feet, and he.
Times. God bless you both.
Neither is he tonight in Las Vegas, and consequently both Lee and McEwan. There's an interesting culture clash here. When Andy Lee left a career in Ireland, walked into the Cronk Gymnasium because he wanted the annual steward. Craig McEwan did exactly the same thing with this era. Chose a guy who's tall and has a long jab. What do you see so far?
McEwan,
hard right hook by Lee.
Yeah, Lee has hurt McEwan to end the night for high. And
so excited about Andy. Period a few years ago, went down and beaten in a fight.
I guess, but that's a fight. That's less than most young.
Was already bloody.
McEwan not noted for punching power. Lee with that really good front hand.
He's much too straight up for it, just as he is. It won't hurt him. I mean, a right-handed fighter.
Fighter you're looking at a middleweight show.
Now he has the longer arms, longer style. He lands a beautiful right hook that he told us was
landing his jab, which is his #1 weapon, carrying the corresponding element is that his
see Andy Lee and then counter with his own shot.
And for most boxing fans, there was a time when that he trains with Romanian, but his man
him and McKenty. I mean, he's throwing me right now.
And had trouble. Apparently was taken aside. Worry about it. It's his gym.
Straight left. Really got it.
He's beginning to time his counters in so.
He's constantly pushing the because Lee is backing backwards when he comes at him.
And overpowered him for a win.
McEwan looks just as.
So this is something of a comeback round for McEwan.
Andy Lee with a beautiful right hook he landed. Another one.
Catching Lee flush with a right hand was McEwan.
He's backing straight up after he punches. You see McEwan come in and land that counter right hook right up, and boom, there's a straight left hand he's landed because
Lee 11 of 31, McEwan even on the Letterman scorecard.
As a much smaller. So things in the gym that hit you with a headgear on affect you. But when you come out here in 10-ounce gloves or with the
McEwan lands a thunderous right hook. Thunderous for him. Again, not no
because his momentum and his weight is coming forward, and Andy Lee is backing straight up.
We talked about how the second round could have given McEwan confidence. Helpings and zeros tonight.
That's a perfect, but technically better.
Tell you what, McEwan landed a right hook just now, and he came back off right hook and a straight down for a
sprint. In terms,
I don't yet, but he is, and he's probably, that may not even be Freddie Roach. That could be from watching Manny Pacquiao
himself. I saw him.
I think it was going to make him better. Freddie Roach qualities. He's not. He's coming right down the pipe, just like that. He's gotten Andy's respect with his power shots too.
I think he's up in there. Andy Lee backing up, seemingly taken back. McEwan is going forward.
Took my words. 2 rounds to 1. 29. You have some aggressiveness and clean punching, and now you're seeing the effective aggressiveness of Craig McEwan. Great shots.
Issue with Andy Lee. What I've seen here is he appears too easy to hit.
The world is he don't hit this much. Gerald McClellan, these guys can really bang, and he's getting hit entirely too much.
And for the kind of fighter, tall, rangy, good action here.
This boxing match, we didn't expect to see that, particularly from McEwan. Last 2 or 3 rounds by mechanical and stylized prior to tonight. He is fighting with vigor.
Forward, he has a long jab.
Down the pipe like that, he very rarely weaving. He always bags straight up, so guys know where his head's going to be. You just punch that area and you're hit.
More thunderous.
And McEwan also puts 3. Andy Lee, it's 1 and 2. It's
good
Lee's
left
punches
hand.
are slowing down. Lee in trouble in round 4. Not necessarily, but tactical trouble. He's losing the fight big time.
Hooks.
That's that right hook. He's not throwing many left hands, and McEwan is catching him.
It's an admission of defeat, like he has to rely on the home run punch.
With Emmanuel Stewart. He has spent more personal time with Stewart fighter, even Vladimir Klitschko. It could be that Lee is more debilitated by the absence of Stewart tonight than McEwan is.
Coming forward with a straight left and following it with a right hook, but his hook was shorter where they actually exchanged. Lee caught him with a check hook, but he landed a left hand over the top.
Extraordinary numbers. And over half his power shots.
It's a great illustration of it.
When you fight a guy who's the same, which side the counter shot is coming from. A good body shot by McEwan.
Is it because of this constant body?
He looked like this before this body assault.
But Jim, you mentioned it, that absence. You heard he's giving you his body.
Whereas Hill is already showing frustration that he can do.
That he's depending on one punch.
Talking about McEwan just walking Lee down over and over. These body shots are taking their toll for McEwan.
And he does not have the boxing skills that Andy has, but he's going to try to outwork Big Shot and hope to win a decision.
I'll tell you what, guys, at the very least, and it gets to the point where a statement fight for McEwan practically from the second round on.
Whoa.
Lee's been looking to turn things, go back to boxing, move your feet, try to put punches together. He's still not doing it.
He's hurt.
McEwan's looked very good tonight.
Lee is in danger of going down. Lee-Craig McEwan, who has...
McEwan coming in with a straight left hand. He beating Andy to the punch because Andy trying to throw that big left hand. Then he beats him to the punch with the right hook because he's throwing a shorter right hook. And here you see Andy's wide right hook miss McEwan. McEwan is throwing smaller.
I've seen Andy Lee about a half dozen. This is dreadful. This is drive and motivation.
And usually, like in the case with me in the 12 or 13 years, they were grown men when they fought. Although it was an amateur fight, they still, McEwan knows Andy Lee, and Andy McEwan lost, so he's the one who has something to prove. And right now, he's out here trying to prove that.
I think it's fair to say that McEwan has...
For him to gain
the early rounds, but this fight, the first round was Andy's big. He hurt McEwan, but that's it. It's not like the tide turned immediately.
You know, if then that because he went to Roach, not because of some Scottish fighter, but rather because of an Irishman. Irish experience in the United States, idea of Freddie Roach. Wild card, Jim.
I mean, McEwan's countering Lee off the ropes at this point.
pretty tired. His work get to him a little bit too, because he's not throwing as
Right there, right.
Generates a spurt. Lee's to do now.
But it went down.
Yep, it's going down in this round. Many fighters try to take a rest somewhere midway through of his. Punches landed once again in this round. But now Lee gets in a while. And a good hard left cross by Andy Lee.
Andy Lee is getting him with some good counter punches, but McEwan is cut now.
Or Sinsirak, I should say, who was a world championship silver medalist and an Olympian fighting for Ukraine, and wound up turning pro in 2005, and his career more or less, turned pro earlier than that, won a pro title in 2005. Then his career somewhat slowed down and almost stalled in the hands of the German promoter Universum. He averages per round that McEwan is solidly winning the fight.
Five rounds to one, Craig McEwan. Secret to this fight is Craig McEwan, Andy Lee doesn't punch. He backs up. Well, there we throw that
counter right. Took it very well.
Anyway, Craig McEwan doing his job on him with both hands, out-punching him solidly.
Going to have success. Right hook with a straight left hand down the...
McEwan has a cut outside his left eye. The blood will not...
Is that he's the taller fighter.
Do you think he might have dispensed with the jab early because he thought that he was going to knock McEwan out?
Yeah, and he thought he hurt McEwan, and so he thought he had him, and he got away from his jab, but it's hurting him right.
Last round and a half, I think. Not that he's necessarily...
McEwan showing a lot of fatigue here, though. Andy looks like he's handling fatigue a little better.
Win, and he was the heavy favorite.
Good shot.
It would require a knockout.
Good shot.
And job as usual.
Oh, and by the way, out when Steve Smoger is the fit of the doubt.
But I mean, just in terms of saying that's a good shot because it landed action.
Oh, I've always thought he's excellent, Max.
Yep.
Confident a referee as you'll ever see in there because he's absolutely certain he's doing the right thing. Using his jab, that could be an improvement.
That's the smartest thing McEwan can defense, and
His gloves forcing him to work.
like
Whether it's because McEwan was a fight where he was just going to back to a fight that he's winning, but it's a fight. I'm not sure it's anything as it is what McEwan...
Statement of sorts for McEwan in the fight. They're both trying to get into position to somehow become contenders in a different fight if he hadn't.
Besides the training component of Emmanuel Stewart's value to a fighter, good 3-4 punch combat fighters, better than just about anybody. Lee has not fought a super confident fight tonight. My God, what did I get myself into fight? Look at that. By putting punches together, what a difference it makes.
That he's back in the fight. Either Roaches. Job in Craig McEwan. Richard Gonzalez is carrying through with Freddie Roach. War between Craig McEwan of Scotland in the long blue trunks and Kronk Jim won when he landed a couple of big hooks to charge. Outfought, outworked, and out.
McEwan showing a little fatigue now. He's not, which are forcing McEwan to keep his hands home for defense more.
Well-placed body shots at this time could help to blunt Lee's rally.
Two southpaws, but nothing cute about the in the main event.
I'm sure to hit. Good stiff jab by McEwan.
Gotta admire the way McEwan's still working it here in the 9th round. Andy Lee.
Lee's shown a lot of heart in this fight, I think.
Sure is.
All of us in the Celtic tribe can be proud of him. And down goes McEwan on a perfect left-hand shot. 8 seconds to go in this round. It was a straight left.
His legs are going only because he see Andy Lee come in with a straight 1-2. He caught McEwan backing straight up like he was doing earlier, and he landed a straight left right down the middle. A beautiful 1-2 combination.
Just heard McEwan's corner telling him, you must hold as much as you can. You must buy time in the 10th. They don't have confidence now that their fighter can go back out and try to do what he's done.
5 rounds in a row, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But in 72
wins the 10th round, he could win the fight on Harold Letterman's card. We'll see what the other judges have going. Lee landed another big right hook there. McEwan slightly wobbled.
Lee's not thinking about
in Foxwood.
He's not thinking about the scorecards, Jim.
He's looking to burn down the house once and for all. And McEwan leans back. Lee hammers him with the left hand. And Steve Smoger waves off the fight. Andy Lee rescues his career.
Throws a straight overhand left, actually. Bam, right on the chin. I think off of that he may have landed another. No, the referee stopped. He didn't land nothing else. He just needed one clean shot because because McEwan was so tired. There again, you see the overhand left. No way, nowhere for McEwan to go. He was standing straight up. He had no possible means of avoiding that punch. He was dead tired.
As soon as McEwan started throwing that left hand, Lee started throwing the left hand, the fight turned around.
Yep, once he mixed that into his arsenal.
So an amazing comeback by Andy Lee, who frankly looked bad for much of the fight. I say he rescues his career because frankly, if he had lost this one, I'm not. When you look at Sergio Martinez, you're looking at the ultimate late